my God.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you just say hi? Did you say hi only to the ladies?
I said also gentlemen under the women's rules.
Okay. I'm going to say hi to all genders and all identifications. Hello. Open-minded.
So, guys, your new West End play, The Spoils, opened on Friday night, I believe. So, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. We did this play, The Spoils, we did it in America last year, and now we're doing it in London. We added Alfie Allen to the cast, and another actress from here, Katie Braben, but otherwise it's the same play. And it's just been incredible. The English audiences, I guess having grown up on Shakespeare, find our kind of dumb American words comparatively very easy to understand, and they're really enjoying it.
And Kunal, for you, what was it about The Spoils that really drew you in and made you want to be a part of it?
It was the writing. Jesse's an incredible writer. For those of you who don't know, he's such an incredible writer. He wrote a wonderful part for an actor, minority actor like me, and I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to play it. And it's a nice hiatus break for me to be able to come to London and work on stage with Jesse.
And in case the audience isn't aware, can you just tell us a little bit about what The Spoils involves?
Oh yeah, The Spoils is a play about, Kunal and I play roommates. I'm a kind of privileged, not very nice person in New York. We're living in an apartment that my father bought me. Kunal is my roommate. He is an immigrant from Nepal studying business in New York, and I kind of like torture him and manipulate him, and ultimately I lure this couple in, this girl who I was in love with when I was very young, and her banker fiance, who Alfie Allen plays, into our lives, using him as bait, and then kind of manipulate everybody in this play.
It's a comedy.
It is a comedy.
It's really funny.
Well, your character, Ben, he's deeply flawed, as you make clear, but he's also, there's something about him that's just kind of engaging you. We want to know more about him. Is that a character type that fascinates you?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing characters that other people don't like. I think since I was young, just personally, not even as an actor, since I was young, I was always able to kind of sympathize with people who are seemingly evil, or I don't know why, I was just always interested in those people, interested in people that seemingly no one else likes, and trying to find not just what's horrible about them, but what's the pain that's driving that behavior. So when I write characters, and when I act in characters, like even something like in the Batman movie playing a villain, I still try to kind of figure out what is driving this person, what is the sadness, what is the pain that's driving this person to behave in the way that he behaves. And so that's what I have done with this play, except in a kind of, you know, this play is kind of like a real intimate look into somebody like that, so it's not just the side character that's the villain. You're actually kind of looking inside at what drives that horrible person.
It's a comedy.
It's real funny.
But with layers, probably. Yeah. I know you've said it's not autobiographical, obviously,
yeah.
But is Ben based on anyone you've met or anyone you know?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in New York and New Jersey, and I feel like, similar to London, I think you are surrounded by the richest of the rich, the poorest of the poor, and everything in between. And what I've discovered is that a lot of times, you know, when people accomplish everything that they strive to accomplish and get a lot of money or are born into a lot of money, there's a kind of, they can feel somehow empty. And then conversely, Kunal's character is a Nepalese immigrant from a poor family in an agrarian society, and he has so much hope and optimism, and it's this interesting juxtaposition between having everything and wanting nothing, and having nothing and wanting everything that is makes for a drama. And of course, Kunal,
it's a comedy.
Your character, Kunal, is actually based on a real life friend of Jesse. So what was it like playing someone who is based on a real person that your co-star knows?
I didn't really have to dig that deep, in my opinion, to meet this gentleman or try to mimic him in any physicality or in any way. I grew up in New Delhi, India. I have a lot of friends from Nepal. I've spent some time in Nepal. Our cultures are not dissimilar. And this character came very naturally to me. I played very close to my chest.
And as you mentioned, you also have Alfie Allen in the cast. People might be familiar with Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones. Any Game of Thrones fans?
Alfie plays Theon Greyjoy, and But in this play, he does something you've never seen him do. He plays an American investment banker from New York. So he's incredible in this play. I hope you come see him.
What was it about Alfie that made him perfect for that part of Ted, your rival in the show?
Well, there's really nothing about Alfie or his previous work that makes him right for this part. That's why he's such a great actor. He's just incredible. He made like an audition tape for the casting people for this play, and I saw the first 10 seconds of it, and I said, this guy is incredible. I had never seen Game of Thrones. I hope I'm going to be make it out here alive after saying that. But I had never seen it. Then I Googled him, and I saw 5 minutes, and I thought, how is this the same actor who's doing this? And I'm an actor. I know how acting works, and I'm still shocked that guy is able to do this thing because it's so different. And I think one of the real joys for the audience is seeing this guy that they know very well do this completely different thing. It's just really one of the special things I think of seeing people on stage is you get this very intimate look into the way kind of actors that you love, actors that you've become familiar with, do something that's totally transformative.
And are you hoping that, say, people in the audience today or people who don't normally visit the theatre, they'll come and see the spoils because they know your movies, they know your TV shows, and it might be a new way to introduce people to theatre?
Yeah, Jesse and I talk about this all the time. Theatre tickets are expensive. It's expensive for young people to watch theatre. You know, it's always been for this sort of privileged society almost. Let's go to the theatre, But the truth is, part of doing this show is to be able to bring young people to the theatre because it's one art form that has really existed forever, almost, And it's survived everything, and it brings us great joy to be on stage, and I hope all of you, every single one of you, comes to our show.
It's a comedy.
It's a very, very funny comedy. Jesse, you've called theatre acting, and I want to get this quote right, the most taxing, exhausting, and nerve-wracking thing you do.
Yeah.
Why so?
Well, when you film a movie, you film usually like 3 lines at a time, and usually the lines are like, hey, let's go over there, and then the other guy goes, no, let's go there, and you say, okay, and then you go home. But theater is like doing the entire movie live with you can't mess up, and it's just exhausting. I'm not complaining, it's also the most exhilarating experience. It's nerve-wracking, it's all the wonderful things that doing something that scares you brings. And I love it, it's my life's work. But it's compared to movies, I always think of it like acting in a play with a group of people is like being on a life raft in the middle of the ocean. And acting in a movie is like being on a yacht docked in Miami. You're always on a boat, but the one is really comfortable and enjoyable and relaxing, and the other one you feel like you're going to be picked alive by vultures.
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
Between the two of you, both just had such incredible careers with hit TV shows and movies and award-winning plays now, and you've both written books as well. I mean, are there any unfulfilled ambitions left?
Yeah, Kunal and I both want to be in the NBA.
We love basketball, but we're too short.
Yeah, too short.
And not strong enough.
Not strong enough, too.
But our skills would probably not work either, to be honest.
No skill.
What is actually your unfulfilled dream, Jesse? I've never asked you. Is there one?
Yeah, when I was young, I wanted to be a banana, and then I realized that was just a fruit, and humans can't do that unless you believe in reincarnation, and we're Jewish, so we didn't. And then I wanted to be an astronaut, and then I wasn't good at science, and then I wanted to play in the NBA, and that dream topped out at about 5'9".
And then you became a movie star, so it really sucks.
Disappointed, yeah. Yes, but I'm only starstruck when I meet basketball players. Like, I'm friends with this guy, Andre Drummond. He's 7 feet tall, he plays in the Detroit Pistons. And to me, every time I see him, like, I can't understand, because I'm in movies and, Kunal's, and like, I can't understand why anybody would be interested in ever meeting me. And it's always a shock when somebody says, I wanted to meet you or get your signature or something. But when I meet the basketball player, yes, that's what I think are the real accomplished people in this world. Yes, I don't know why. It's a comedy.
Well, Kunal, now that Jesse's hired you for his play, when are you getting him on The Big Bang Theory? That's got to be the next good thing.
We just finished season 9, and then we go back to season 10, August 3rd.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So next season, you're getting Jesse on the show, right?
Next season, look, next season, as it stands on our contract, could be the last season of Big Bang Theory. But
Unless, of course, I come in and
if Jesse comes on the show, then maybe we'll do season 11 and 12 and 13 and 14. I don't know. No, look, to be completely honest, I know people are going to want to know what happens after season 10. I have no, I don't know what's going to happen. But if it were up to me, personally, I would love to do the show as long as you guys would have us on the air.
And you guys want it to last, right? Run and run. Yeah. Well, to flip that, Kunal, if you were going to be in a DC Comics movie, what would your superpower be and why?
Oh man. Well, I always get DC and Marvel confused. Don't boo me. Don't boo me.
Good luck getting out of here.
This guy doesn't watch Game of Thrones. This guy doesn't know the difference between Marvel and DC.
To be honest, I get them confused. But I think if I had a superpower, I don't know. I think it'd be really nice to fly, because Aquaman sucks.
Oh, that was your character. I mean.
Yeah, I was just doing that thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
What were your favorite superpower? What if you had one?
My character in the DC universe is not, he has no superpowers. He is like, he's just, he's ego, and that's what makes him great, is that he like can figure out how to, basically stand up to these guys with nothing in a way that's like even more powerful.
Do you have Gal Gadot's phone number?
I have a wrong phone number for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's given me several wrong numbers.
She played Wonder Woman. She's dreamy.
Yeah.
With the character of Lex Luthor, of course, there's so many different interpretations in the comics. There's so many different ways you could go with that character. What did you want to do with it in that movie?
I mean, what I wanted to do with the character is kind of like what I want to do in this play, which is that I want to like humanize these people that you have seen dehumanized. I wanted to like make these people real and relatable and interesting and engaging, and not just kind of a kind of surface bad person. To me, the most interesting acting is when characters can bring you in, when actors can bring you into like another side of the person, when you feel like you are not just seeing the kind of the purpose of them for the plot, that they're not just delivering a message, that they're actually showing you some kind of humanity. And that's what I tried to do with that character. Whether or not I succeeded and failed depends on your kind of subjective opinion about what you think about people like that, but that's my goal as an actor.
And so what's next for Lex?
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I am in wait. Like they just started filming Justice League, so I'm kind of like waiting for my crack at it.
So does that mean you are in Justice League?
I don't know what I'm allowed to say, because I feel like there's probably some drone following me from DC, and if like I say anything wrong, I get like picked off. But yeah, I mean I think so, and I love it, and I love everybody who's it's a really talented group of people, obviously. So I certainly hope to be in it.
Fantastic news. I think you've probably heard enough from us three guys. Shall we get Melissa on stage? Please welcome to the stage, the very talented, the amazing Melissa Rauch.
Stated nearly 14 million years ago, expansion started way back here. Began to cool the autotrophs, began to drool Neanderthals, developed tools, we built a wall, we built the pyramids. Science history unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang.
Sorry, we had some chair confusion there.
Hi, everybody. This side was louder. How's this side doing? They beat
This
you.
side or that side?
No,
You guys first.
Let's hear the back. Wow.
Just the front row. Just the front row. Pretty great.
Now, just Libras. Very good. Me too.
I would just like to point out my feet do not reach the floor, and it's really embarrassing.
Melissa is the shortest person I've ever met.
Thank you. It's so sweet.
How tall are you?
I'm between 4'10" and a half and 4'11". I've been measuring myself constantly because I think I grew a ½ inch, and I'm really excited, but I wasn't sure if it was a faulty tape measure.
Someone actually cheered how tall you were. They were like, woo!
Yeah.
It was my mom.
So guys, Big Bang Theory is just the biggest sitcom in the world right now, possibly ever. Can you put your finger on why it has been just such an incredible success?
I think a lot to do with the incredible writers on our show. The architects behind it and our producers and writers have done such an incredible job with creating these layered characters who are really, the writing is hilarious and it's heartfelt. And I think what this show has been able to do, which is really incredible, is that these characters have grown over the years, which you normally don't get the chance to do with characters on a sitcom. You have these characters who've evolved, and like you take even Howard, for example, he started out as this ladies' man, and now he's the most domesticated of the group. And
he wasn't a ladies' man. He thought he was a ladies' man.
Yeah, and I think that's really remarkable. And then, of course, the incredible actors that the show started out with.
You know, we're really lucky because it could have easily been a show that made fun of nerd culture, but I think where we got it right, and this is a real testament to Chuck Lorre and Bill Brady and Steve Malaro and all the writers, is that we really celebrate nerd culture, that these guys are incredibly proud of who they are, they're not afraid to hide their colors and what they like. I mean, they're an incredible, vibrant culture of people who really celebrate the things that they love. I think that's so important about a show, and this is why we come to Comic Con. I love meeting all of you, because you really represent, I think, what's happening in the world is, you know, nerds are back and we're cool and we're smart and we're sexy.
Talking about a ladies' man, Raj has he's changed a little in the most recent season. He's
Yeah, I don't even know where you guys are in the season. Here, with this show in the UK.
we're in the current season.
You're caught up? Are you all caught up?
We're more or less caught up.
Raj has 2 girlfriends now.
Raj has 2 girlfriends. He's dating 2 girls.
He's dating 2 women, 2 beautiful women, and he thinks it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to him in the world.
Were you surprised when that storyline came up?
No. Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, I went from this character who couldn't speak to in front of women to a guy who is dating 2 women, and again, it's really, I would like to say it's sweet and endearing. I mean, he is kind of being a dog, but I think he's enjoying it, and I don't know if he doesn't understand what drama he's doing. You know, what drama is about to ensue. So we'll see what happens next season. Jesse, you can put your mic back up. It's okay.
Okay, hi.
Yeah.
Well, listen, before you came on, we were talking about, you know, you've had some fantastic guest stars on the show. Surely Jesse has to be next in line.
I would love that.
Yes, I want to be on the show. I've spoken to Mr. Chuck Lorre about being on the show. I've spoken to Mr. Nayyar about being on the show. I have a stipulation.
What is it?
I play Kunal's biological brother and no one says anything about it.
I love it!
No questions asked. I come right off the plane from Delhi. I walk in, no one questions it.
I
want to see it. I want to see it.
Send me it to happen.
Yeah, it is really sweet though, and I'll be completely honest, is that, and Jesse will be honest too, before the play he had never seen the show, and now every morning we come to get warmed up for our play, and he's like, oh dude, I saw these 2 episodes last night, and I love that moment, and now it's like, he's watching it too, it helps him go to sleep at night.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help me go to sleep.
No, I mean, no, and not because it's boring, it gives you comfort, because you see our sweet faces at night.
Yes, no, so now the show plays like it plays every night in like a block here, so I watch it every night. I watch like 3 episodes a night. I absolutely love the show. I think it's like, and I think to add to what Kunal was saying, I think the reason it's so wonderful is because, yes, the acting is wonderful, the writing is wonderful, and it's also sweet. It doesn't feel like it's crass or anything. It doesn't feel like it's it doesn't feel like it's critical of its characters. It loves its characters. It's so wonderful. That's why I love it, and that's why I love the actors on it. Everybody seems so sweet, and it's why, like, when I saw Kunal on it, I thought this guy is like so wonderful for the show that I wanted to do, because that's his character. And Melissa as well. They just ooze sweetness and warmth, and it makes you feel like you're not only watching this very entertaining, engaging comedy, but that you're also kind of hanging out with people that you like.
Yeah, they feel like your friends.
Yeah.
I'll be there for you. It's going to outlast Friends pretty soon, right? 10 seasons.
Well, Melissa, are we going to do season 11? Season 11?
I don't know. I'd love to. We'll see. I mean, we're picked up through 10. So
If it were up to us, we would do, like I said, you know, we'd be here for you guys.
100%. 100%.
We have had some fantastic guest stars on the show. Everyone from Stephen Hawking to Stan Lee.
apart from obviously Jesse,
My future
Kunal's biological brother.
Yeah.
Who would you love to see on the show still?
Oh man, well now I'm very excited about the Jesse idea. Which, by the way, I just need to say as an aside, I saw the spoils last night. Who's going to see this play?
up.
I need more hands than that, guys. It is so fantastic. I saw it in New York and I fell in love with it. And selfishly, I was so excited that they were doing it here because it stayed with me. And I was so excited to see it again last night. And Jesse's writing is absolutely off the charts remarkable, and the performances are just off the charts amazing. It's an incredible production. I want you all to go see it. It's amazing.
Thank you.
But that wasn't the question. That was just my
It was
side.
a very good point.
As far as guest stars go,
Who's gonna play your baby?
ooh,
Are there any good baby actors out there? Anyone good?
I think, along with Jesse's idea of Jesse just showing up,
She should be the baby.
can you be my
Can you
baby?
be Bernadette's
I want to
baby?
birth Jesse Eisenberg.
That would be the greatest. Our readings would hit the roof.
I've also had that dream. What? I've also had that dream. Yes.
Who should play? What do you want? It's so hard. I mean, it's hard to top Stephen Hawking and James Earl Jones. Stephen Hawking.
It's a shame we use James Earl Jones. He would also be good as my baby.
You'd be a great baby.
That'd be wonderful.
Who should play Penny's mom? Who do you guys think should play Penny's mom? George Takei should play Penny's mother. Actually, he would be wonderful.
He'd be great.
That's a great choice.
Hello, Penny.
We have had George Takei on the show. He was naked in the bathtub with Katie Sackhoff and Howard Wolowitz.
I have to say, I always get so excited when we have guest stars that I inevitably make an ass of myself in front of all.
What did you do?
Bob Newhart.
Oh,
I
this is
couldn't get my act together. I was so excited that he was there, and I was such a fan of his stand-up growing up. And he came. He was in the green room, and I went up to him and I was like, I'm gonna get it together. I'm not gonna be weird. I'm not gonna be awkward. And I had this wonderful conversation with him about stand-up, and I used to do stand-up in New York, so we had this great conversation about how stand-up translates to live sitcoms. And I was like, all right, I held it together. And then the conversation was over, and I felt weird turning my back on Bob Newhart. It just felt weird to be like, okay, bye, and turn my back. So I did a weird back out of the room with my hands in prayer position, and I backed out and it said to him, thank you for the laughter. And I felt terrible, and it was weird, and then I offered him a juice from craft services,
And he went straight for the scotch. I'm joking, he didn't.
so I always get nervous when there's a guest star that I will do something weird and make it uncomfortable for everyone.
We had a funny Stephen Hawking moment when, when Stephen Hawking shot the first episode, we shot it in his office, not on stage. But he came to stage one day to watch the run-through of that episode. And Simon and I are in the cafeteria, and Simon's doing the Stephen Hawking voice to make fun of Stephen Hawking in front of Stephen Hawking. And Stephen Hawking, obviously because of his, unfortunate physical state, was smiling. He had the biggest smile on his face. And I thought it was such a wonderful moment because I was very worried that he'd be upset by it, but he was actually really, really happy. He's wonderful. That's my Stephen Hawking story.
He
Do you
has
guys
very
have a good
soft
Stephen Hawking
hands.
story? He did have soft
The
hands.
softest hands.
I think your Stephen Hawking story wins by default. Because I think
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to open up to fan questions shortly. So if you do have a question to ask Kunal or Melissa or Jesse, please do queue up either there or on this side here. While those guys assemble, hopefully the Big Bang Theory will continue for many seasons to come. But when it eventually does come to an end, how would you guys like your characters to end up? Where would you like them to end
With
up?
a bang.
With a big bang.
I don't know. I think it'd be fun if Raj were just a bachelor forever.
Really?
Well, don't you think that'd be so fun? Then we can get we can get so many guest stars to play his girlfriends. That'd be so fun, don't you think? What do you see from Melissa? How many babies does Bernadette have?
I want 10 million Jesse babies.
Yeah.
Just one after the other. Every time Brendan has a baby, you just pop out.
Me again, yeah. I'm
Big CGI budget on season 11.
Oh, this is being signed. We should we should do some.
What's the most
What's the
ridiculous
most
word?
difficult word for you to sign? Let's see. Jesse Eisenberg is an extraordinarily talented young man from the city and state of New Jersey, New York. That's pretty easy.
Pretty good. You should say something like armadillo or aardvark.
That's not the first time she said that.
Okay. Can you sign Soft Kitty, Warm Kitty? I'll tell you what. Let's sing it. Let's sing it, and then let's make her sign it. Okay? How does it go? Okay. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little. She knows it. Sleepy kitty, purr, purr. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Because none of us know if that was right at all, but
Yeah.
let's just... All right, we have a lot of fan questions, so we will start on this side, and then we'll go over to that side, and we'll zigzag back and forth.
Hello.
Hi.
My question's for Kunal and Melissa. If Raj was real, would you guys be friends and watch Sex and the City with him, do Disney sing-alongs with him, and if not, which other characters, even if it's Stuart?
Are you asking? Yeah, I think if that's a good question for Melissa. I mean, if Raj was real, would you watch Sex and the City with him?
Yeah, like, would you be friends with him and stuff?
100%. I feel like Raj and I would be best friends in real life.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the girls.
I feel like he would take me shopping and pick out good clothes for me.
I just licked the mic by mistake. Disgusting.
How does it taste?
It tastes like George Takei.
That tastes like
Makes
that.
no sense. Thank you. Yes, that's great. Thank you. Raj is one of the girls.
Hey. My question's for Jesse. I've actually read the script of the spoils, and I'm seeing it next week, and I'm very excited.
Oh, thanks.
I wanted to ask if, what other play do you wish you wrote? Not one of yours, any play in the world.
What's that? What do I write?
Well, if you could choose any play ever written, which one would you wish you wrote? Why didn't I say it right?
No, that was a perfectly good question. Yes, and well articulated. Yeah, no, I guess I wish I wrote Romeo and Juliet, if only for the proceeds, because it seems to play everywhere. People seem to have really taken to that one, I guess, because of the romantic aspect of it. I don't know, whenever I see anything, I guess I kind of can't figure out how anybody's done anything, including myself. After I finish something, I can't figure out how I did it while I was doing it. When I watch something that's great, I can't believe that a person conceived of it. And so I don't really have that feeling that I wish I did it, because I can't think that I am capable of it. When I write, I would say infected unconsciously by things that I've acted in that I haven't written. I was in this play Orphans, which is this great play from the 80s about these two boys who are orphans, and this kind of strange, mysterious man who comes and becomes like a father figure to them. And then I also acted in these plays by this woman, Lucy Thurber, who's this great New York City downtown writer. And I kind of in a way, I kind of pick from those two people when I write, but it comes out, but then I'm kind of filtering it through my own, neurotic, comedic Jewish persona, which then turns it into this very strange thing. So I kind of steal from those people and then kind of filter it through myself.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Nick. I look forward to seeing you.
Hi guys. With the success of the Big Bang Theory, do you think that there is some mileage in adapting it to a feature film or other forms of media?
That's a good. I mean, it's a very difficult format to do for a movie because we shoot in front of a live audience, a live studio audience with 4 cameras. So unless the movie was a 2.5-hour sitcom version of The Big Bang Theory, I don't think we could ever actually do a movie. You
could do it on stage, though.
We could do it on stage. I'll tell you what, we'll come here and we'll recreate the movie of The Big Bang Theory for you guys next year.
They've got you down for someone backstage is writing that down now. You're booked.
Yeah.
You're booked. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, my question is for Jesse. I'm just curious to know what has been the most enjoyable role that you've ever played and why.
I kind of always feel most engaged with whatever I'm doing at the moment, even if in retrospect I didn't like it. So like right now I'm doing this play and I feel like this is kind of I feel like it's the most engaging thing I've ever done, and then it'll end and I'll probably feel that same way about something else. And I think it's just the nature of how we perform, which is that you kind of just fully invest emotionally into your characters. I think the difference between acting and like other jobs, and I don't mean to say that acting is more special or different, but I think the difference with acting is that you're kind of using your own emotions in the job, and I think that's what separates it from other jobs. And I think because you are kind of bringing your own emotional experiences to it, you end up like engaging with it in a way that is unusual and kind of hard to explain or articulate. And I think, so whenever I'm doing something, I kind of feel just totally emotionally invested in it. I'm curious because Melissa, who plays this really sweet character on the show, did a similar thing that I'm doing, which is also, she did this wonderful movie, The Bronze, and she plays a similarly kind of crass character, but probably also similar to the play, probably finding the kind of love in it, right?
Yes, 100%. That's really interesting. I felt the same way, kind of. What you were saying about bringing that emotion to it, you feel like there will never be anything else that you will feel fully connected to again, and then you move on to the next thing.
And feel that same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hi, my question's for Jesse, and is, what's your favorite DC superhero and why?
Oh, I don't, my character hates the DC superheroes, So as we were saying, like you're bringing your own emotions to it and everything. So like while I'm fighting against these superheroes, I'm actually feeling like they do not deserve to exist. They are from different planets and they shouldn't be, my character's kind of like xenophobic in that way, and he's I guess nationalist in some way. So so my character doesn't like any of them, and when I'm thinking about them, I think they're all really awesome, and then when I'm actually acting as as my character, I think these guys all need to be destroyed, and then you go home at night and realize that's psychotic and try to sleep it off. Thanks a lot.
He's gonna go home and cry to his mommy.
Hi there. First of all, I want to say thank you to the Big Bang Theory. Because of you, at the age of 30, I returned to university and now I'm a biomedical scientist.
Ooh.
But without the show,
wow,
I wouldn't be able to have done that, so thank you. My question is really, all of the panel could be involved. If you could play a character in the Big Bang Theory that wasn't your own character, who would it be and why?
I've always wanted to play Bernadette, and I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. I'm not saying that.
So good in a cardigan.
Exactly. I'm not saying that just because, but I'm serious. Like it's one of my favorite characters to do that voice and that sweetness with that quick anger that she has. Like I'm obsessed with it.
So you like Howard's mom as well, then?
Yeah, poor Carol Ann Suisi. I'm sure most of you know that she passed away a year and a half ago now. So her memory lives on with us, but we miss her very much.
Sorry.
No, don't be sad, please. No, thank you for bringing her up. Sure, her spirit is very much alive in our show every night we tape. Yeah. Who do you want to play? Don't say Raj now, because I said Bernadette, but please say Raj.
You would have to say Raj. I do love Raj.
That's okay, you can say the truth. Who do you want to play? It's okay.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
I feel like that would be a really great stretch as an actor. I'd go for Cinnamon.
Cool. Jesse, who do you want to play on The Big Bang Theory?
I want to play you because, I love the fact that you, I guess, used to not be able to speak because, that is my dream because I can't shut up. Yes, I love that. I would play you sober.
Okay then, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, so I'm going to go watch The Spoils soon, so this question is directed at Jesse and to Kunal, and I was wondering whether you've noticed a difference regarding the audience in America and here?
Yeah, I do. It's the strangest thing. I absolutely did not expect to. But the audiences here have been I don't know, seemingly more engaged, paying attention differently.
Yeah, we were told that before, I think everyone told us before we started the show, because it's a comedy, that the British audiences are going to be more reserved, they're not laugh as loudly, and they're having a wonderful time, but they're a little more reserved. But in our experience for the last 3 shows that we've done, and the first 3 shows that we've done, it has been incredible. You guys have welcomed us with such open arms. I mean, it's so touching every night. People are getting the jokes before we even finish the punchlines. And I don't know, it's like, what do you think, Jess?
I think that theater audiences in England are just, they have more experience with theater. It's a more important art form here. It's been around forever here. For me, to be able to do a play here is the biggest honor because, you guys, you're really the most important center for theater in the world. And I think maybe, in some ways, I think really culturally, attuned I would say in a more acute, precise way.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun. Thank you.
Enjoy your stay here.
Yeah, thanks for having us here and thanks for coming.
Afraid we've only got time for one more question, so make it a good one.
Right, so our last question's for Jessie actually. And our favourite characters from your films, like my favourite's your version of Mark Zuckerberg. Lex Luthor. So we were wondering if you could play any character over time, who would you be and why?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a movie to play, we did like a sequel to Now You See Me. We actually filmed it in this building, Now You See Me 2. I left a piece of gum under this table for this event because I knew I would. I love that character because, the character I play in Now You See Me is like this kind of very confident magician, and he is like, worked really hard to become great at magic, and then he feels like he deserves to be confident, and it's like everything that kind of I lack. And so I've worked hard to be an actor, but I still feel like unsure, ambivalent, or all the normal feelings that people have, and this guy just feels totally confident. So every time I play the character, I kind of like trick my brain into thinking that I'm confident as well, and then I kind of walk away from the end of those days feeling really great. I have like actually some kind of nice Pavlovian response to this building even. And so I really like playing that character. I hope they make more Now You See Me because it's the one time I actually feel like pretty great about myself.
Nice, but any other characters in another film at all that you haven't played?
Oh, that I haven't played yet? I haven't played the father in The Godfather yet. So I'm kind of just, I guess I'm waiting by the phone, but so far nothing. I don't really think that way. I kind of love doing what I do, and I don't really think about it like characters from the outside. I think about it from like what I'm doing on the inside, and then people perceive it in different ways. But when I'm acting in something, like I love it, like I did this movie last year, American Ultra, and I love that character because he's like this really kind of like sweet, stone, lazy guy, and that's also fun for me because like I'm not that either. Yeah, so I guess like maybe that character is probably the most fun. But no one's calling about that.
One day.
Oh, right, and she brought this movie, The Double, which was actually an English movie. We filmed that here. Richard Ayoade directed that. He's from the IT crowd. Maybe he's been to one of these events.
Jesse, say that again, but slower.
Which part?
Just this last part, because I didn't understand.
Oh, I think that's because you're in front of the speakers and the acoustics are not good for your particular vantage point, but otherwise I think everybody appreciated it.
Come see us on stage!
Yeah, exactly.
This is just the beginning.
What's that? Oh, thank you very much. I'm having a private conversation here. Thank you so much. Yes, good. It's fun for the rest of us. Wonderful. Great.
We are out of time, unfortunately, so we'll have to wrap up there. But please join me in thanking our fantastic panel.
Love you guys very much.